Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So it's just me today, and the first thing I want to say is some things have changed. We saw the buffs that went out with Zarya with her Graviton Surge, now cutting off a lot of heroes' mobility, but since then there has been a couple of micro changes as well, surrounding other heroes that used to be able to get out of it that now can. Before we get started, I want to know what you guys think about the change, whether you've seen it before, whether you haven't, whether you feel it's a bit too strong, and what you think of these myth-busting things that we've done so far, whether they've helped you out in any way. Let us know below, and we'll get straight into this video now. So if you think that you're up to date with the interactions of the Graviton Surge, even if you've sort of read up on threads and stuff like that, it's changed again. This is the first time that anybody's spoken about the Doomfist one in particular, and we're going to start off with that one because we're going to go in alphabetical order. This change maybe went out with the Reinhardt bits, other changes to Doomfist about his slam ability so he can get up onto higher ground, so it seems more of a bug fix. For those that want to keep up to date, a lot of heroes that used to be able to get out of Zarya's Graviton, such as a Mercy using Guardian Angel, Tracer recalling out, Sombra translocating, that's all been stopped. It's not a question of having the velocity or momentum to get out of it anymore. If you get trapped in a Zarya ultimate, a lot of abilities get locked down that you can't use them. It acts more of a disable than an actual hold you in place mechanic. So we're actually going to go through some of these examples, talk about which heroes can actually still get out of it, and one of the heroes that used to be able to get out of it was Doomfist with his ultimate. As you're seeing in the bottom right, you can't use the uppercut, right click or slam ability to jump out of Zarya's ultimate, as they are disabled and on cooldown. But the main one is that you can't use the ultimate anymore, which you used to be able to when people first started testing this thing out. So this is the main point that's been changed, is that Doomfist's ultimate can no longer jump out, so if you play Doomfist and you get stuck in a Graviton, there's no chance of you getting out. We're going to go through the heroes from left to right, and we're going to go onto Genji next, who can of course dash out. He can still use his reflex and of course fire, so you can still use other abilities so long as it doesn't affect your movement. Similar thing with McCree, he just cannot roll out, even though the roll can actually get him out of Graviton. He's lost that ability, but can still do other stuff. Pharah can't jet jump, but she can actually use her knockback, but you can't use it for any movement, you just will not go anywhere. But it might be good to just knock people away or off ledges if you're stuck there. Reaper of course has his Wraith ability, which he can actually get out of the Zarya ult with, so he's the first person that can have an ability that gets him out of there. His teleport however does nothing. Soldier 76 of course couldn't run out before, he still can't now, but the thing that I wanted to test is that he can still use his healing shield, and he can. Now these next two heroes are where this ability goes from, hey, that was a really nice change, to, okay, yeah, this is a little bit too strong. Sombra's translocator, even when it's set far away from the Graviton, cannot be used while she's stuck there, meaning that even if she had that option to use it, she can't, and she will go down fairly easy. The same thing about Tracer's recall. If you're stood in a position and blink into a Graviton, you cannot use recall all to get out of it, even though you were stood in. That to me is a little bit too strong, and it might be something that Blizzard want to dial back on, but there are a couple of other examples of this as we go through the list. Junkrat can still use his mind, but using it to try and knock himself back gets himself absolutely nowhere. Mei can still use all of her abilities, but the thing that we wanted to test was using her ice wall to knock herself out of the Graviton Surge above it to see if she can get out, and even when the Graviton's sort of fired on a lower ledge, it still doesn't work. You can get out of the firing line a little bit, but you won't be able to like move out of it. It was worth a try, but it didn't end up working. Widowmaker can't grapple at all, so she's kind of stuck, and Diva as well can't use her jetpack to get out of there either. Orisa of course has her Fortify, which means that she can walk out with ease, and of course she can use all of her other abilities as well, so she's a hero that's not going to be affected by Graviton by any stretch. Reinhardt used to be able to get out of Graviton, maybe pick up a cheeky kill whilst he was at it, but he cannot do that anymore, so he has to grim and bear it. Winston couldn't leap out before, and he certainly can't now, but it's good to have that ability locked off on cooldown, so you don't end up accidentally using it and realizing that it doesn't get you anywhere. Mercy is another hero that can actually still get out of the Graviton, but only if she's invulnerable whilst resin. So for those people saying that Mercy cannot actually get out of Graviton, she can in those certain situations, but whether she should, I'm still not sure about. I don't know whether that's something that really needs balancing or not yet. And that's really all of the other heroes that have movement abilities that can actually get out of Graviton. So as you're seeing, it's gone down from what, half a dozen heroes that could get out to only 3, one of them being very specific situations. Doomfist used to be able to get out once this change was implemented, but the main thing to go over here is that he couldn't before. But if you have any opinions, what do you think of this change? Do you think it's a little bit overpowered? Let us know in the comments below, like I said at the start. And until next time, take care. We'll see you then.